In this video, I'd like to talk a little bit about the design of melody number 2. Before I composed melody number 2, I made the decision that I would use an interrupted ersatz. Interrupted ersatz is the kind of design where scale degree 3 and 2 typically are used in a first phrase, and then the second phrase will complement the first phrase by using some of the same pitch material, but featuring scale degree 3, 2, and 1 in key metric positions. Let's take a look at where scale degree 3 and 2 are in melody number 2. Notice how scale degree 3 is featured here. A lot of attention is drawn to scale degree 3 by the use of this octave. Scale degree 3 is a component of the tonic triad. The notes of the tonic triad consist of G, B flat, B flat, and D. Scale degree 3 is here. Then, if you look very closely, scale degree 3 is here also, and scale degree 3 is rearticulated here. The tonic triad is featured in all of the areas highlighted in blue. If you look for it, you'll see it. Here's B flat, G, D, B flat, D, D, G, and B flat. The tonic triad is, the melody is woven around the pitches of the tonic triad. The leap of the octave that occurs here to scale degree 3 is followed by a descent to another scale degree 3 found down here. Notice the use of the natural minor descending scale. Notice also that scale degree 3 leaps to scale degree 6, which is E flat. Scale degree 6, when followed by scale degree 5, is a semitone in descending motion. You remember from the sheet that that accentuates the dominant pitch. Notice that the melody dips below and then re-articulates dominant and then follows up the melodic minor scale to the tonic. This is the way we use the melodic minor scale. Ascending from scale degree 5 to scale degree 1. That space, that musical space filled in, the melodic minor scale smooths out that transition from dominant up to the tonic. Notice how I use the dotted rhythm here. A longer dotted rhythm in the first bar, the fourth bar, a quicker dotted rhythm that produces a tremendous amount of tension at the third scale degree. I use the same dotted rhythm to articulate the second scale degree, followed by an octave. An octave leap to the third scale degree, filled in octave to scale degree 3, up the melodic minor scale to a dotted rhythm to scale degree 3, followed by an octave leap on the second scale degree to a syncopated note. I have made every effort to draw attention to the third and the second scale degree in this melody. And I think that it shows when you sing it or listen to it. Okay, so here's scale degree 3 and 2. And you'll also notice that the musical space that is filled in between here and here is answered over here to balance the equation. The metric position of scale degree 3 on a strong beat and scale degree 2 on the first beat of a pulse structure also help to draw attention to this component of the structure. The second phrase consists of measures 5 through 8. Measures 1 and 2 are identical to 5 and 6. The difference is in measure 7, where something a little different happens. Instead of continuing along with pitches that are belonging to the tonic triad, something else happens. Notice there's a D, F sharp, and an A, as well as a C. The notes D, F sharp, and A belong to another kind of a triad called a dominant triad. When the dominant triad has another note added to it that's a third above, in this case the A, which is a C, we get what is called the dominant seventh chord. We're going to learn more about the dominant seventh chord and more about the use of the tonic triad later. But what I want you to understand is that the dominant triad has this note A, which is the second scale degree, which is part of this structure that I'm basing my melody on. And later on, that's going to become a very important fact. But because you know scale degrees, you can use this structure without really understanding completely the harmonic aspects of it. Notice that I put scale degree 2 on the first beat. I use a familiar dotted rhythm that I borrowed from the fourth measure here. Notice that scale degree 2 is accentuated by that dotted rhythm as it's rearticulated. A leap to the leading tone, and then on to the tonic pitch to conclude the melody. Finally, I'd like to look at the use of the raised seventh scale degree in this position here. It's often the case that a melody will leap from the dominant to the leading tone, and then it will go on to tonic. Or a melody will leap from the dominant to the leading tone, and then on to the supertonic, scale degree 2. This outlines a triad, D, F sharp, A. After this, scale degree 2 will usually find its way down to scale degree 1. And it does, even though a B flat is used to draw attention to the A. And then a leap to the leading tone and back. Notice how the tonic is approached from above the supertonic and below the leading tone. In this way, I am pointing at the tonic pitch and drawing attention to it. Writing tonal melodies is all about design. Designing the melody such that the tonic pitch is the central feature and the movement away from the tonic pitch, in other words, to scale degree 2, or moving away from triad notes to other scale degrees in the scale, produces a tension that is resolved when that same structure rearticulates itself and follows its way to the tonic. This structure is age-old, and it has been used for a very long time, for hundreds of years, because it works. The structure itself is extremely simple, just like a paragraph is a simple concept. However, with rhythm, with dynamics, with articulations, with meters, okay, this simple structure can be made extraordinarily original and unique each time it's reinvented. So my challenge here to you is to try this. Try using an interrupted ersatz. See if your melody comes out as sounding tonal. Let's listen to it one more time. It's time to go to the piano and begin writing your melody. Be sure that you take great care with using scale degrees 6 and 7 in minor key.